Most of the time, they don't come back because they suddenly realized your true value. They come back because they feel you slipping away. When you were available, she took it for granted. When you stayed silent, now she's curious. That's human nature. People notice absence more than presence. And sometimes, they miss the attention more than they miss you. But here's where most men fail. They get too excited when she reappears. They drop their guard. They rush to reply, hoping this is some kind of happy ending. It's not. This moment isn't about romance. It's about power, about control, about not letting someone's temporary interest shake your long-term discipline. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to respond when she comes back, and how to do it in a way that protects your peace, your pride, and your position. Let's get into it. Number 1. Pause before you reply. The first rule? Don't answer right away. Not because you're trying to play mind games, but because real power starts with a pause. When she suddenly reappears, whether it's a text out of nowhere, a like on your story, or even a message saying, "Hey, how have you been?" Your first instinct might be to reply instantly, especially if you've been thinking about her, missing her, or wondering what happened. That's human. But here's where you have to step into something deeper: self-mastery. Ask yourself, am I about to reply because I'm calm and composed, or because I'm secretly craving her attention again? This moment of pause is not about revenge. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about giving yourself space to reconnect with your own inner balance. Because if you're off balance, she'll feel it. And that's when you fall right back into the old dynamic where she's leading the dance and you're just reacting. Imagine you've been practicing no contact for weeks. You've been focused on yourself, maybe hitting the gym, working on your business, spending more time with friends, or even just enjoying peace without drama. Then, suddenly, ping, her name lights up your phone. Now, the old you might have rushed to respond, typing out a quick, "Hey, so good to hear from you," and then staring at the screen, waiting for more. But the man you're becoming, he pauses. He puts the phone down. He reminds himself, I don't need to rush back into her orbit. I've built my own universe since she left. The pause is powerful because it resets the dynamic. It reminds both of you that your time, your energy, and your emotional state are valuable. It shows her that you are not sitting by the phone, waiting for crumbs of attention. And more importantly, it reminds you of that too. Stoicism teaches us to stay grounded, to observe our own emotions without being controlled by them. That's why when she reappears, you don't need to be cold, but you do need to be in control. Take a breath, take an hour, take a day if you need to. Because silence, when it comes from a place of calm strength, not spite, isn't weakness. It's power. Number 2, you're not that same guy. Remember this. You're not the man she left, ghosted, or distanced herself from. At least, you shouldn't be. And if you've truly been on your path, you won't be. See, when a woman disappears from your life, whether it was sudden or gradual, it creates a space. And what you do with that space determines who you become. Some men sit in that void, replaying the past, stuck in the same loop, waiting for her to come back so they can hit resume. But that's not strength. That's stagnation. Life doesn't work like that. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river. It never stands still. Neither should you." If she's reappearing now, it's because she senses something. Maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's guilt, or maybe it's just plain ego. But make no mistake, if you've been growing in silence, if you've been leveling up your mindset, your body, your discipline, she'll feel the difference. Women have a sixth sense for emotional shifts. And if you're standing in your new power, she'll notice you're no longer orbiting around her. Let her meet the version of you who doesn't chase anymore. The man who respects his time, protects his peace, and understands his worth. That doesn't mean you need to be cold or rude. That's not Stoicism. Stoicism isn't about shutting down emotions. It's about governing them. It's about staying rooted in clarity, not being shaken by sudden reappearances or old feelings. Imagine this scenario. She sends you a text. Maybe it's, "Hey, how have you been?" Seems innocent enough. But before you type back with old patterns, before you fall into the comfort of familiar emotions, pause. Ask yourself, am I responding from habit or from who I am today? That pause is where your power lives. Because here's the truth. If she's coming back, part of her expects to find the same man she left. The man who would drop everything just to have another chance. The man who would overlook the past, eager to reset, pretending nothing happened. But you're not that man anymore. And if you are, this is your wake-up call. Growth changes the dynamic. It shifts the balance. You've got new standards now. You've got clarity. You're not afraid of reconnecting, but you're also not afraid of letting go. That's what real detachment looks like. Not apathy, but calm acceptance. If she fits into your new life, great. If she doesn't, you'll keep flowing forward, just like that river Marcus Aurelius talked about. That's how you respond with power, not by reacting fast, not by proving yourself, but by letting her feel the difference between who you were then and who you are now. Before we continue, take a second to reflect on this. Growth isn't about chasing or proving. It's about becoming so solid in who you are now that nothing shakes your peace. If this message resonates with you, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, or just type, "I choose growth over comfort" below. Now, let's get into the next step. Number 3, keep a little mystery. She might message you out of the blue with something like, "Hey, where have you been? Why didn't you reach out?" And in that moment, your instinct might be to explain everything, to give her a detailed play-by-play of your emotions, your silence, your growth. But here's where real power begins. You don't owe her a full report. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about protecting your inner world. A Stoic man understands that not everything needs to be explained or defended. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You don't need to convince her that you've changed. Just be changed. Let her feel the difference, not through long conversations, but through your presence, or better yet, your absence from unnecessary explanations. Think of it like this. If you walked into a room after months of working out, you wouldn't need to announce to everyone, "Hey guys, look at my new muscles." People will notice. The same goes for your emotional growth. She will sense it, not because you told her, but because your energy is calmer, your responses are lighter, and you're no longer acting like a man who needs her validation. So when she asks, "Why didn't you reach out?" you can smile softly, take a pause, and say something simple like, "I've just been living." Leave it there. No over-explaining, no confessions, no trying to make her understand. Let her wonder. Let her reflect. That mystery is part of what reignites curiosity and respect. When you hold something back, not in a cold way, but in a grounded, peaceful way, you remind her that your life isn't orbiting around her anymore. And here's the truth. Not everything needs to be shared. Some chapters are for you. Some growth is sacred. So keep a little mystery. Stay cool. Stay vague. Keep some of your world to yourself and watch how that changes the dynamic. Number 4, lead the energy. If she texts you, don't mirror her energy. Set the tone. Lead the conversation, or don't have it at all. This is where men often slip back into old habits without realizing it. She reappears after her silence, sends you that "Hey stranger" or "How have you been?" message, and suddenly the dynamic resets in her favor because you let it. Most guys answer too quickly, try to be too polite, or immediately dive into explaining themselves, hoping to keep the conversation going. But here's the truth. If you're just matching her, you're following, not leading. And when you follow, you're giving her the steering wheel again, when in reality, you should be the one setting the pace now. A Stoic man doesn't fall for that emotional trap. He leads from calm, not from impulse. He knows that leadership in a conversation isn't about dominance. It's about direction. You decide how deep the conversation goes, how much of your time and energy you're willing to give, and whether the door even stays open. That's a conscious choice, not an automatic reaction. Think about it. Marcus Aurelius didn't control the weather, but he controlled how he responded to the storm. The same principle applies here. You may not control that she texted you first, but you absolutely control how you respond, and if you respond at all. Let's say she sends a text like, "Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you." The average guy might jump at the bait. He'd respond immediately, ask what it was, keep the playful tone, and basically reopen the door for her to slide right back into his life, as if nothing happened. But you? You pause. You reflect. You consider what you're available for now, from this new place of growth. Maybe you reply later with, "Interesting. What's on your mind?" Short, direct, but calm. No chasing, no over-explaining. No trying to reignite the old vibe that no longer serves you. Or maybe, depending on how she left, you decide that her message doesn't even deserve a response yet. That's leadership too. Silence can be just as powerful as words when it comes from clarity, not ego. Stoicism teaches you this. Your peace comes first. You don't engage in conversations that disturb your center just to keep someone else comfortable. You're not here to make her feel better about her decision to disappear, then return when it suits her. You're here to protect your time, your energy, and your direction. So, lead the energy. Set the tone. If you decide to engage, do it from a position of calm strength, not emotional neediness. This is your life, and you choose who gets access to it. That's not arrogance, it's self-respect. And trust me, she'll feel the difference. That's a lot to reflect on, right? But this is where real growth begins. Not by reacting on autopilot, but by responding with intention. So before we move to the next part, take a moment to think about your own situations. Have you been leading the energy in your conversations, or have you been letting someone else steer? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Or if you're keeping it simple today, just type, "I choose calm leadership." That way, you're not just watching this, you're committing to it. Now, let's go deeper. Number 5, don't recycle the past. She might try to revisit the past. Maybe she wants to talk about old problems, old mistakes, or how things used to be. And it's tempting, isn't it? To go back and reanalyze every detail, to reopen old wounds, hoping you'll finally get the closure that never came. But here's the truth. Most of the time, that just traps you in a cycle. You end up debating things that no longer exist, and meanwhile, you're missing what's happening right now. If she reappears in your life, your job isn't to dig through the ruins of what went wrong. It's to lead the energy forward, Stay rooted in the present moment, because that's where your power is. Stoicism teaches us this clearly. Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." That's exactly what happens when you let your mind drift back into old stories. You start suffering twice, once in the past and once again in the present, just by thinking about it. Suppose she texts you after months of silence, saying, "I've just been thinking. Do you remember when we used to argue about that one thing? I still don't know if we handled it right." Now, in that moment, you have two options. You can get pulled into the emotional quicksand of the past, repeating conversations that lead nowhere. Or you can choose a stoic response. You can stay calm, grounded, and gently redirect the focus to now. Say something like, "That was then. I'm in a different space now, and I hope you are too." See, you're not being cold. You're being clear. You're not avoiding the truth. You're protecting your peace. A Stoic man knows that life moves forward. He's not here to replay the same scene over and over. He's here to write a new chapter, or walk away with grace if the story is already done. So remember this: when she reappears, don't recycle the past. If you do, you'll get the same results you always did. But if you stay present, you keep the power in your hands. Number 6, stay busy, stay purposeful. If you've been building yourself, keep building. This is not the moment to hit pause on your progress just because she decided to circle back into your life. Maybe it's a late-night text. Maybe it's a, "Hey, how have you been?" after weeks or months of silence. It might feel tempting to drop everything, to respond instantly, to entertain the fantasy that this is some grand romantic moment. But let's be honest, most of the time, it's not. It's usually just curiosity, boredom, or ego. And your life? It shouldn't be a revolving door for someone else's indecision. A man of purpose doesn't operate on impulse. He moves with clarity, discipline, and direction. If you've spent the past weeks or months focused on leveling up, whether that's improving your career, building your body, mastering your mind, or creating peace in your daily life, then don't let someone's sudden reappearance throw you off course. Seneca said, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." That's why you have to stay locked in on your mission. Don't get caught up in emotional winds. If you've found peace and focus in her absence, protect it. If you've developed discipline, don't drop it now just to fall back into familiar patterns. Imagine you're at the gym, pushing through your final set. Your muscles are burning, your mind is focused, and your phone lights up. It's her. The version of you from the past might have stopped mid-set, rushed to reply, maybe even skipped the rest of the workout to sit there texting for hours. But the man you are now, you finish your set, you finish your workout. You stay present in what matters first. This doesn't mean you're being cold or distant for the sake of ego. It means you're being intentional. You're not ignoring her out of spite. You're respecting your time, your energy, and your growth. You've learned that real power is not about reacting to every emotional impulse. It's about choosing your response from a place of strength, not from fear of missing out. So when she reappears, don't clear your schedule. Don't cancel your plans. Don't put your life on hold. Let her see that you're busy because you're building something meaningful. Yourself, your mission, your peace of mind. And if she's genuinely meant to be part of your life, she'll respect that you don't jump at breadcrumbs of attention. She'll see that your world is no longer centered around her. It's centered around your growth. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect. Are you truly building yourself, Or are you quietly waiting for her to return? This is the moment that reveals your growth. Not when things are easy, but when the old pattern comes back and you choose differently. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's one part of your life you're committed to protecting right now? Let's talk about it below before we continue. Number 7. Watch before you act. When she suddenly reappears in your life, maybe after weeks, months, or even longer, the first instinct most men have is to respond right away. To get excited, to pick up right where things left off. But not you. Not if you're serious about protecting your peace and standing in your power. You don't jump back in just because someone knocked on the door. You watch. You observe. You let time reveal the truth. Maybe she reached out because she genuinely misses you. Maybe she grew, reflected, and realized she made a mistake. But here's the thing. Maybe she didn't. Sometimes a woman reaches back out because she's bored, lonely, or just needs a quick ego boost to know you're still available. You don't want to confuse temporary emotions with permanent intentions. That's why you pause. You lead with patience, not pressure. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is the man who lets the current show him what flows to the surface." In simple terms, you don't force the truth, you let it appear. So give it space. Let her actions speak louder than her words. Is she consistent? Does she follow through? Or is this just a random text in the middle of the night? For example, if she says, "We should catch up soon," but then disappears again when you don't respond immediately, that tells you everything you need to know. She wasn't serious. She just wanted to check if you'd still bite. A man of purpose and clarity doesn't rush back into old situations. He knows his peace of mind is too valuable to gamble on someone's temporary feelings. So stay calm. Watch carefully. Let her reveal her true reason for coming back. Not the reason she says out loud, but the one her behavior will quietly expose. Remember, the old version of you might have reacted fast, hoping for reconnection. But the new you? You move differently now. You're not here for games. You're here for truth. Number 8. Check for respect. Attention is easy to get. Respect is rare. And that's exactly why you need to pause and ask yourself, why is she really reaching out? Is it because she genuinely values who you've become? Or is it just a moment of boredom? Maybe she misses the comfort you used to give her. Maybe she wants to feel entertained, validated, or reassured that you're still there waiting. But here's the truth. A Stoic man isn't interested in being someone's emotional safety net. He's not here to be recycled for convenience. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretations of their significance." So don't get lost in flattery just because she reappeared. Interpret this moment clearly. Ask yourself, does her message carry respect? Or is it just attention in disguise? There's a huge difference. Attention is cheap. Anyone can send a text. Anyone can say, "Hey, how have you been?" But respect, that shows up in consistency, in effort, in how someone treats you, not just when they're lonely, but when they're stable and clear-headed. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you've been hitting the gym for months, building discipline, focusing on your goals. You're no longer the guy who used to drop everything for a midnight text. Now, she sends you a message. Maybe she says, "Hey, I've been thinking about you. Let's catch up." The old you? He might have rushed to reply. The new you? You ask yourself, is this respect, or is it just nostalgia? A woman who respects you shows up with real energy. She acknowledges growth. She brings clarity, not confusion. So check for that. Don't just look at the words she sends. Look at the intent behind them. Is she reaching out because she sees your value now? Or is she just making sure you're still an option? A man of power, a man of purpose, chooses who gets access to his time. Respect is the price of admission. And if she's not paying that price, you're allowed to stay unavailable. So before we move to the next point, take a moment to reflect on this. Are you chasing attention? Or are you requiring respect? That question changes everything. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Have you ever had someone reach out only to realize later it wasn't about genuine connection? It was about convenience? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Or, if you're short on time, just type respect first, attention later. It's a simple reminder that keeps your mindset sharp and your standards high. Now, let's continue. Number 9, speak from strength. When you do reply, do it from a place of calm, not chaos. This isn't the moment to unload emotions, to guilt trip her, or to throw sarcasm like, "Oh, look who finally decided to text." That might feel satisfying in the moment, but it shows you're still emotionally tangled. And if you want real power in this situation, tangled is the last place you want to be. Instead, your words should sound like someone who has already found peace, with or without her. You're not cold. You're composed. You're not distant. You're centered. Think of it this way. A Stoic man doesn't try to control how others behave. He controls how he responds. As Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This is one of those moments. Let's be honest. Sometimes when she reappears, it's tempting to jump right back in or prove a point. Maybe you want her to know how much she hurt you, or how much stronger you've become. But strength isn't about proving anything. It's about showing it quietly, through your tone, through your restraint, through the way you speak lightly, without tension. For example, she sends you a "Hey, stranger" text. You don't need to respond right away, and when you do, you don't flood the conversation. You reply with calm simplicity. Something like, "Hey, hope you're well." Short, neutral, no bitterness, no chasing. Just the energy of a man who has moved forward and is fine either way. That's the tone that changes the game. It tells her, without you needing to explain, "I've evolved." It sets a boundary without building a wall. It lets her feel the gap between the old you, the one who might have begged for attention, and the man she's talking to now. And sometimes, that gap is exactly where she starts to realize your true value. So remember, when she reappears, don't speak from insecurity. Don't speak from ego. Speak from strength. Because the man who speaks from peace, that's the man who holds the real power. Number 10, be ready to walk away. Here's the hardest part. Be willing to let her go again. I get it. When she reappears, it's tempting to drop everything. Your phone lights up, you see her name, and there's that split second where your heart wants to believe. Maybe this time will be different. But here's where real power begins. Not with chasing, not with clinging, but with standing still in your own strength. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response. Sometimes silence is not about punishment. It's about protection. Protection of your time, your energy, your progress. Think of it like this. You've been climbing your own mountain since she left. Maybe you've been working out more, focusing on your career, reconnecting with your peace of mind. You've built a stronger version of yourself. You've healed wounds you thought would take years to close. So when she reappears, you have to ask, is this climb worth risking just to revisit the past? Epictetus said, Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You can't control why she left, and you can't control why she's back. But you can control whether you allow her return to disturb your balance. Picture a man who's been ghosted by a woman he cared about. Weeks go by. He moves forward. He stops checking his phone at midnight, stops replaying old conversations. He's training again, sleeping better, living fully. Then, out of nowhere, she sends that simple, "Hey, how have you been?" Most men would jump back into old patterns, reply instantly, try to revive the connection, seek answers. But a man of discipline pauses. He doesn't let nostalgia cloud his judgment. He thinks, does this bring me peace, or does it pull me back into confusion? Sometimes the answer is clear. It's better to let go, not once, but twice. This isn't about being cold or heartless. It's about being aligned with your own values. A Stoic man protects his peace more than his pride. He knows that sometimes the strongest move is the one where you don't move at all. You let her come and go like the wind, but you stay rooted like the mountain. Because the truth is, real power isn't in keeping people. It's in keeping your center. You don't chase storms when you've already found your peace. And if that means letting her go again, so be it. You'll still be standing. At the end of the day, brother, this isn't just about her reappearing. It's about who you are when she does. Are you the man still waiting for permission to feel valuable? Or are you the man who's built his own worth, independent of anyone's attention? That's the real test. It's not about whether she stays or goes. It's about whether you stay aligned with your growth, your peace, and your purpose. If this video gave you something to think about, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear which part hit home for you the most. And if you're serious about mastering this mindset, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There are more videos on screen right now to help you keep building that inner power. Click on one and keep the journey going. Remember, calm is strength, clarity is freedom, and your life, it's yours to lead. See you in the next one.